Hello guys and welcome to another daily Crazyhouse arena, and we're starting against Aha Tokia, who's opting for the Scandinavian trade variation with the knights, and he goes for Queen d7. Alright, let's go Bishop c4. I have the feeling I've played this before against him. In one of the arenas of this week. That's sad. It's just dropping a full piece there without any compensation, I'd say. Pinning the knight on c6 to go knight e5 or trade first and then go knight e5. Maybe d4 next. And yeah, this is already looking very comfortable for me, since I'm just up a full piece. And I can gradually try to use that advantage, removing the knight from d7 if possible, so that I can put a pawn on d7, and if he goes to d7 I can trade and bring the next knight in, or even knight at f6. So he decides to sacrifice this knight for chances on c3, but I'm alright with that. I'll just block with the bishop. If he takes here, I'll have a free queen. Alright, now I've gained some material. The queen in hand, so trying to arrest his bishop, force it to take here. Because now pawn d7 is coming in very strong, and he can try knight at f3, knight at g2, but when I move to d1 I'm just safe, so he can't do anything yet with his pieces. So it's putting him on the board, which is a good thing to do. But now I get this bishop in, and if you take it I have knight at e5, forcing the mate, so you have to go king e7, I believe. Oh, he takes it. Alright, I think this leads to forced mate. Note the queen on d7, then move to d8, and then there's a blocker, and then knight d7 is made. Alright, so yeah, that was a good start. Too bad he forgot that the queen on d7 was covering his bishop, and basically being a piece down without any compensation is pretty hard, even in Crazyhouse. Where in normal chess it's also a problem, but in Crazyhouse sometimes you can try to get compensation, but in this game that wasn't the case. Yeah, GG. Alright, so Wagnerovsky. Going for b3, bishop b2. It's harassing here. I'll just go d6, cover e5. And just trying to keep this diagonal closed for now, and just develop normally and see what he wants to do. Maybe he wants to go d4, and then I could go e4, d5 probably. Okay, he's going after my bishop. Let's try to lure him to play e4, then just retreat the bishop to g6, or even take the pawn. Okay, there we go. Now this pawn is well fortified on e5, d4 won't have that much effect. So this bishop is basically shut out of the game. And now we can think about creating something. Who is my favorite chess player? I guess in the active players nowadays, I find myself rooting for Grishuk most of the time, because I don't know why, I just like his play. And well, I'm not that well. I don't know many of the classics, and well, I guess I could say that. I guess I could say Fischer, but that would be a bit too easy, maybe. I have read his 60 most memorable games, and that was a nice read. But yeah, not really. I do watch the chess events, but not really a clear favorite or something like that. Right, really bad at Crazyhouse, who is also currently streaming. By the way, I haven't visited his stream yet, but would be nice to get his perspective on this as well. So you could try to watch us both at the same time during this game. Alright, let's go knight f5. And maybe try to use d4 or knight at h4. Okay, he goes bishop c4. He wants to take my bishop on c5, and then this pawn is hanging, so just moving the bishop back. Who do you like, Yumito, then, instead of Fischer? Or someone from present day? Let's see. I think I'll just go queen e7, just slowly put my pieces on squares I feel comfortable with. Moving the rook to the action. This is sufficiently covered, and if he wants to go like this, then well, okay, I'll let him take that and try to develop counterplay while he's with his queen on that side. Could also go knight at c2. Ah, yeah, rapport. He plays original chess. I feel, yeah, I can see why you like him. Oh, I'm now forking, of course, these two pieces. The rook won't be that useful just yet, but it's at least disrupting his plans here. I could also go knight d4, just, yeah. I'll go knight d4 and leave the rook on a1 for now. Because this is just, his pieces are a bit awkward here, and this knight is way better on d4 than a rook in hand, I feel like. Alright, let's go f5. He has a knight in hand, so he could try some bishop g5 stuff maybe, but then I'll go queen f7. Kind of want to go knight at f4, but if he takes and then knight at e6, probably is not good enough. So let's just go knight at f4, block the defense of this. So yeah, there is not a real threat just yet, but I'm Aside from me taking the knight, but taking g2 is not really a threat yet, but maybe he will be startled by the knight being on f4. Alright, he probably now wants to go for h5, pawn at h5, or bishop h5, or knight. Okay, he goes with the knight. Then we'll cover h6. One of the ideas was pawn at g6, take f4, win the pawn back, and then have an attack. And this bishop here also makes the queen available to move, because g5 is covered. He attacks it one more time. Alright, now I'll ignore it for a move and try to go f3. Expecting pawn at g2, yes. I'll take this and just move back. As long as he doesn't have a rook, this isn't that dangerous, I believe. Okay, threatening the cheeky mate here. I can just take this. There's still no knight at g5, and just he runs out of time. But it was already looking very tough here on g2. Okay, happy to take that one. Because unlike his username suggests, he is not that bad at Crazyhouse. Alright, 3 games in, I won 3 times. Seems like I'm the favorite to win this so far. Not that many around my rating have joined. But alright, being the favorite does not always mean you... on paper does not always mean you win. Okay, Misha Nikoyak up next. Going for an early bishop g4. Let's just attack it immediately and try to get an aggressive game out. Usually I play with a bit slower with g3 and bishop g2, but now with the early bishop g4 I like to put him a bit on his back feet. Going h5, expecting him to take, and then I'll take here. But now this is annoying. Because I can just take this pawn, and you can't actually take it back, because then a bishop on g6 lands. Right, and now a bishop on h5 lands. Forking. Alright, let's see. I think we need to stay aggressive here with pawn d6, try to open it up. I don't have a title because I'm only 2100 FIDE. And I'm not really that interested in the CM title, but you only need 2200 for it, I believe, and my peak is not above 2200. But I hope to get a title in a few years when I'm done studying. I'll try to make an effort to play more tournaments and then maybe get to FIDE Master. In the meantime, in this game, I'm just winning all his pieces. Alright, pawn at c6 seems to mate. Take, now queen e6. And well, there are several ways to mate here, I believe, but I think pawn at f7 is the quickest. King d8 forced. Just take. I can run to c7 now. Okay, that's a bit loose by me, but okay. We still should be able to finish this. With pawn at b5, luring the king forward. a4. Okay, let's sacrifice the queen here. He has only b4 left to run to, since the knights are covering the retreat here. And now pawn at c3. Yeah, so finishing there with the queen sacrifice may not have been necessary, but I like the knight's blocking of the king's retreat or walk to the king's side. I live in the northern part of the Netherlands, in Groningen. A big student town. I guess you could say. All right, Wagnerovsky again. Going for c4. And c4 is not that you don't see it that often in Crazyhouse. Probably because leaving the c2 square open like that is not advised. For example, now if d4, okay, it's coming, so I can explain. Now if you take with the knight, I can take back with the queen. If you take with the queen, then knight at c2, because the c2 square is open. I can put a knight on c2. So he probably does not want that, because then the king cannot castle anymore. So basically here if I'm a bit underdeveloped, but if I get safe, then I should be able to get an advantage out of the opening here. Okay, let's go knight at e6, cover the knight, and also cover f5. The pawn at f5 would have been a bit annoying if I went with this knight back. Then there was the spin. Now he has to worry about this bishop, and he covers c2. Okay, now I see this fork, and threatening the rook now, maybe taking f3 next, and I'm just winning a bunch of pawns. Not leaving these bishops on the beginning squares, but I think these knights are doing a very good job protecting a lot of important squares. All right, let's see. I think I can trade queens here. It's not really necessary though, so let's just go for pawn at c2. Could have gone queen takes f3, but the queen is fine on g2, I believe. And with this knight here, I'm threatening to take. I might go bishop c5. And let's go bishop c5. He can block with pawn at d4. Oh, he can take it as well. Ah, that's dumb. The knight is pinned. Okay. That's a blunder by me. Okay, bishop at d6 then. Try to hold it together. I was going to say then he could go pawn at d4 and I cannot take because he can take. But of course he could take my pieces now as well. Right, let's castle. It's a bit scary to castle into this open g-file and pawns coming at h6 maybe, but I feel like I need to unpin this knight and make something like pawn at d4 or pawn at f4 happen. Let's go for it right away. You can try knight at h6, but I'll just sidestep. And as long as there's no rook for him, there's also not the common smothered mate threat with rook at g8. Let's see, does he threaten to sack? I don't think so. So I'll just take the knight. Oh, he does threaten this. I'm missing a bunch of stuff this game. Queen takes h7. And now I just have to hope that I'm surviving this, but something like bishop at h4 is probably going to be game over. Take. Yeah, he has to take it. Okay, now I can run to e7. And now I might be safe. Or at least safe for a while. Some nasty knight checks coming. Knight at d4, knight at b4. The queen may come in. He really should have not allowed this queen to run to d7. His position is still looking very good, of course, but he's giving me chances here. Let's just drop knights. And maybe I can take the bishop if necessary. Okay, knight e5. I think I can go knight e5. Threaten to take f3. And maybe go b6, bishop a6. Since he's not really threatening anything just yet. No knight at f6 stuff. And that's often important in Crazyhouse. You need to create threats to keep your opponent busy. Okay, if he covers c4 with one of his rooks, I'll just take f3. Okay, now I'll just take c4. Sacking his queen, knight at f6, expecting that, and I'll just sacrifice that against that move, because queen at d3 will be made in a few moves. Dropping the pawns. Alright, got lucky that one. I missed a bunch of tricks there, and he should have made it me. But he let me off the hook there with queen h6. Right, K Rider 77. Coming in with knight c5 and bishop g4. So take and go knight e5 is one of the ideas here. But the light squares are already looking weak for black. Bishop b5, exploiting this. King can't move. Blocking is not to be advised, I was going to say, but maybe he had to go for this. But now pawn at c7, threatening rook on one of these squares. Okay, still Rook at b8, not taking the bishop, allowing queen takes b8 or d8. I want this queen. And if he goes knight at c6, try to get this queen back. Then when this queen gets removed, it will convert to a pawn again. Okay, this allowed a checkmate. King can't move, so you have to block, and then pawn at c7. Even if you block with the rook, you cannot take this because you're pinned, and then I mate him. Alright, really bad at Crazyhouse again. Let's go d5 this game, and e6. Bishop b5 comes. And he's playing it a bit slower with a d3. Okay, now I think he's playing a bit of a calm move here with knight at e2 and the bishop on d2, so I feel like I can go for e5. He might try pawn at h6, but I can just move the rook to e8. Okay, he tries pawn at g5. I guess I'll go knight g4. Allowing knight e4 if he wants it. He does not want it. And he's now trying to consolidate his pawn advantage, I think. And I feel like I need to create something here quickly. But he might have a very strong counter push on f6 if he goes fast enough. Alright, maybe he wants to go take and pawn d7. That is a good idea. But I'll take the rook first. And then maybe go bishop at e3. But it's not looking that good. I'm not feeling that comfortable in this position. I'm just trying to create chaos, basically. For example, now pawn at e7, then rook at h1 is very strong. So I think you have to deal with this knight first before you do anything else. Maybe he's thinking about knight at f6 or knight at h6 or something like that. Knight at f6, okay. Let's see. Let's just take. Let's calculate if taking is possible. Yeah, I think it is. Rook at h1 is a threat that has to be dealt with. Okay, he takes now. After creating this counter threat on f6. Okay, let's go knight g4, cover some squares. Yeah, opening up f6 is a good plan by white. White is better here. Sacking my queen here. Pawn at g7. Expecting that. I don't even have rook takes g2. Wow. That's well, let's try it if he sees that he can take with the bishop. Okay, he does not. Let's try to create something out of nothing, I guess. Taking is just mate, or this is mate as well. Yeah, well played. I was a bit too loose there on the king side, and he punished me with knight at f6. Good game by really bad at Crazyhouse. Yeah, and even the queen, sacking the queen for 2 knights did not help. This bishop on c6 was actually doing a very good job defending. Whoa, sorry about this one. Alright, let's see who's up next. Really bad at Crazyhouse, saying in a tournament chat that he got lucky, but I think it was just a very good game. Slow opening that I did not manage to punish, and he when he got out with his pieces, he had me there. Well, it's taking more than over a minute to give me a pairing. With 57 people, okay, some of these aren't playing, I guess, but you would think this would give me a pairing quicker, but alright. Okay, it's okay. Oh, that's berserk as well. Going h5. Wow. Trying to bait him in a pre-move trick there with h4, but he did not do that. Smart move. Probably develop like this. Try to use the scope of the bishop. Alright, queen a5. Let's just allow this if you want it. He has 2 knights, but these squares are covered twice, both. So it should be fine. c3 is also covered sufficiently. I think I can just take, and he can sacrifice his queen if he wants to. I think I can run back if necessary. Yeah, let's just run. Knight at c3, king f1. Okay, so I have 2 queens now, which might be useful. But we have to find a way to use them properly. Let's take this knight, and then maybe I can sacrifice a queen on e7 somehow. Let's see, queen at e7, take, knight at f5. It's not that convincing actually. So let's just take the bishop and maybe go bishop at e7. Still knight at c3, just run. As long as I don't give him an extra knight, I should be fine there. For example, knight at c3, king f1, and an extra knight lands on d2. That's already looking very scary. Even still, probably is not enough for black, but don't want to take that risk, of course. And now I'm threatening a lot of stuff. Okay, he's trying to come at me. If I can take, I guess, yes. His point of entry has to be knight at h4 to cover the f3 square and go bishop at f3. But h4 is covered by this knight, or by the bishop. Let's see, king g2. And now king g3. And I'm out of the checks. Bit scary though, but I felt like he had just too little material to make this work. He needed an extra knight, basically. Yeah, and now the effect of the second queen comes in. I can lure the king to g7 and mate it on g7 with the next queen. The knights are covering the retreat to the e-file. Okay, K rider again. Going with d4. Let's go knight f6 and b6. And the aim of this is, of course, to create a strong bishop. And maybe go pawn at g4, pawn at e4, try to weaken the light squares. But of course white can make his own moves as well, so maybe try knight g5, something like that, or e4, also a good move. Okay, let's go bishop e7, get ready for castling. Might not be necessary, but it's just good to be ready. And now with him, he has no material, so a knight on f5 for a pawn at h6 is not yet coming. Let's go bishop at g4, cover f5. And now we trade the knight on f3 and still covering f5 with this knight. And that will be, these two squares are the important squares here for the black attack. Okay, let's sneak in this tactic. If you take it, I get this bishop, and if you take on e7, the knight would have gone back to e7, winning a pawn basically. It's also a common motif in chess, actually, in regular chess. And it's sort of a pin gone wrong. Kicking the queen back, forcing it to e1 or g4 maybe, and then I can kick it even more. Now it has to retreat. Attacking this knight, and maybe go if he covers it with, let's say, bishop at b2, I can go at e2 next. Okay, he goes to e2 voluntarily. Now knight at f4, looking at all these important squares. So yes, I'm just dominating here with my pieces. And now I can try to use my extra pawns to get them on the back rank. I think he has to take, otherwise I'd just take his rook. Ooh, this feels like a mistake. Probably rook at f1 was also not prolonging this game that much, but now I'm just getting my rooks in on the back rank. Pawn at g4 to finish. Bishop prevents the king from going back, so he has to move to f5, and then pawn at g6 is made. Okay, a little under 50 minutes to go, and we are on 31 points. 12 points ahead of Aha Tokia. And it's looking good so far. Got a bit lucky and deserved to lose that game against really bad at Crazyhouse, but the other games had some interesting concepts. Okay, going for the early bishop sacrifice. Very aggressive. And usually this evolves around something with pawn at h3 or something like that. So I'm just going to put the bishop here to prevent the queen from coming in too easy. And rook f1 to castle artificial, basically. And next his attack is running dry, so, and even now he's giving me this piece for free. If you take it, knight at e7 forks queen and king. So therefore he decided not to pursue that path. Just taking away this pawn, the only thing black had going for him. And now knight at c6 forks these two guys, and now I get in on h6, trying to use the queen to mate. And now he has to figure out a way to defend g7, which is not that easy, being a queen down. And if he finds a way, I can even go pawn at c6, fork these two, get extra material. Let's just go for that now. The defender of f6 as well is then lured away. Okay, so he tries to counter. Alright, threatening mate. I want this to threaten mates at all times on h8 or g7, and then if he has it defended properly, I can take one of these guys and use them to mate. For example, now I probably will take this knight. Yes, let's go for it. Just then this is coming in strong. Queen at g7, cover here. But that's not even necessary because I can use the queen to mate him now probably. He's trying to hold on for dear life, as they say. Let's go b4. but he's still hanging on here. But I've covered f4, and that's important. Queen c5 to finish it off. He has to block, and then pawn b4 takes b4. Since this queen is covering here. Okay. Mini grade coming in strong with 5 wins in a row there. But still a respectable margin of 16 points between us. Probably we'll have to play him sometime soon. But first we have K-Rider again. Let's see if he goes with d4 again. No, e4 this time. Let's go d5. And he goes d4, e5 setup. Trading early on c6. And usually it's a good advice to wait with trading until you can get some sort of an advantage out of the trade. Resting here a bit, and then maybe I'll take on c2 if I want to. Problem with taking on c2 with the queen being on the 3rd rank though is that he could have gone queen c3 and c2. Okay, now he's going very aggressive. I think I'll just for the sake of clarity, I'll just sacrifice my queen there. Otherwise he could have taken here, and then the dark squares were a bit weakened around my king, with the king being on e7. And now the king is actually pretty safe on f7. He has no knights for g5, and actually there's a piece on g5. There is no real entry square, so actually I'm just safe. Okay, I'll take this rook. He might want to castle, but then this is getting annoying because now he has to go knight b1 back, and otherwise this is mate. Yeah, so practical decision there. Just taking the knight with my queen, noticing that he doesn't have a real strong attack going, and then just taking the material. And I guess it wasn't really that big of a sacrifice, since he sacrificed his queen, his own queen as well. Looking at c7, I think the move here is bishop d8. Now let's go bishop e3. And I'll just I don't really know what to play in these lines, so I just went for f7 and block at f5, since I feel like that's giving me some safety. Pushing the knight back because I want to go bishop at b3, since he's probably going to take on f5. Yes, there we go. And now I can annoy him a bit with this bishop here. Let's rescue this pawn by trading it. I did walk into pawn at f4. That's not good. I'll have to give up this rook or this bishop. Probably take with the f-pawn. Okay, he's saying, well, I'll take one of these pieces later on, which I guess is a good decision. And causing me trouble, yeah. I played this a bit too frivolous. Okay, let's try something. We need to open things up. Maybe this is something. At least now I have pawn at e4 as well at my disposal. This is a bit of a weak point. Actually, the only weakness in this position, I would say. So let's just go for it immediately. He can take here and go bishop at e3 and then sack at f2. So black is still looking very good. But now I'm coming in, or at least getting some counterplay. Attacking the queen, but also defending against threats later on. Ooh, now a knight on f7 would be really great, but of course he will try to defend this knight. Oh no, he does not. Okay, this should be over now, or at least swinging heavily in my favor. Because I can take this queen with check, because the bishop will. And yeah, this is looking. He had to block at f7, because now mate is coming. Yeah, he threw that one away a bit. He was, yeah, he was way better. I just did not know what to do in the opening, and he outplayed me. But oh well, it's tough to win one positions. Alright, Juman Gulov Ravil. Giving up a pawn early on. Let's just block on d5, seems strong. But now try to develop normally. e6, bishop to c5, d6, don't know yet. Let's go to c5, control d4 square. Attacking the bishop, not giving him time for any threats on h7. Okay, I did give him time to take that one, I guess. Okay, but we'll take and ask what is the follow-up here. Maybe queen f3. Queen f3 will follow if I don't do something about that, so let's go pawn d4. Covering f3 as well. Now knight at f4. Knights are protecting each other. Queen can come to g4 if he wants to. But then I can just go bishop at g5. covering the knight, not allowing knight at h5, knight at g5 by white, I mean. And next I can take this one. A queen trade will be good for me, since queen at e2 is made. So basically he cannot take this one back. He still does though, but then the game is ended. Alright, aha to Kia again. Going for the rook lift. And this is it's looking very funny. If you haven't seen it before, I can imagine that you're thinking, what is this? But there's actually an idea behind it, that rooks in Crazyhouse aren't that strong as in regular chess. Basically they're about the same worth as a bishop or a knight, you could say. And my opponent is saying, okay, I'll sacrifice the rook for your knight, and then you'll have to prove that the rook is better. And I will try to prove that the piece is better, of course. So that's what we're figuring out now. Okay, let's take that and go knight at h5. Threatening g7 with check, so bishop at g4 is not that good, I believe. And now the rook covers g4 as well as threatening on g7. But still he goes for this. He wants me to take and then go rook at g5, I believe. Okay. That's fair. So let's just go queen e4. Maybe take there on h7, or just take the bishop back. Okay, this is a good move. Knight takes g7, he will just take. Okay, I'll have to go back and just take this one. But he has found another way now. But actually allowing this should be fine for me. So trying to kick this knight out. Why I say allowing this is fine for me, because I can take the rook and then go rook at h8, and the pin will be very annoying. Okay, take this one first, and then maybe take this one. Okay, now not anymore, obviously. Let's go bishop f4, cover knight at g5. Knight at h4 is still possible. It's looking scary for me. He's playing very aggressive. Okay, let's just sacrifice one of these bishops. And try to create something here. And I have to watch my time as well. Let's go pawn to e3. Rook takes f2 looked way too scary. Knight b5, missed that one. Have to take here first. not allowing any checkmates. I allowed checkmate in one. Okay. I was trying to pre-move my way out of there. Yeah, good game. Well played by Atokia. I was running a bit too low on time there to defend properly. He played very well in the middle game, and I needed too much time to figure out what was going on. Okay, 30 minutes to go, and it's looking good. So I'll hope to get some more good games in and win this tournament. Alright, really bad at Crazyhouse again. Ah, Dutchie. Yeah, I'm sure you would beat me. And at the risk of repeating myself, when one tries to develop his bishop to b7 or b2, basically aiming at your king side, I find it usually a good idea to block it off as soon as possible. Of course, it's a rule of thumb and there are exceptions, and you could also try to play it differently, but I feel like this is a principal way of playing. And you also can, if you want, you can switch it up and just open it up as well, but then you get some compensation. Alright, we have an early sacrifice. Okay, I think I'll take here. Oh, he expected that. Ooh, maybe should have traded queens first. I don't know for sure. Probably it was better to trade queens first. Okay, but we get the position anyway. Because now I have queen at h4, forking these two guys. So kind of forcing knight at f6 to cover up. Now the bishop comes in with tempo, recreating the threat of taking on e4. Now maybe he wants to take on f3. Okay, he takes on b2. So I get rook d1 in with check. And next bishop takes f6, covering c3. And then maybe queen takes e4 if he allows it. But probably he is thinking now about queen c8, which I think is a good move. So maybe I had to go bishop takes f6, but also then king c8 was fine. Because I think anywhere, block anywhere, bishop takes f6 is just a really good move. Okay, let's watch out here. Queen takes e4 runs into queen takes c3 and take. Maybe it's not that bad actually. But I think this one is safer. And wins material as well. Pawn at e7 is to be expected. and then maybe bishop at g7. Maybe it's not that easy as I thought. He gets play with these c pawns here. So let's say pawn e7, I take his rook, bishop at g7, and then probably rook at g8 for sacrificing the queen and c3. Okay, he goes bishop at c7. That's good, basically good news for me. Because now c3 is sufficiently covered and only c2 is something I have to deal with. And that's one less problem. And he even chooses to go safe at home first. Okay, let's go knight g5 then. Attack f7. Could not go pawn. I could have gone pawn at g7 or pawn at f6, but then I would have left c3 unguarded. So yeah. And now I'm threatening knight takes f7 with all king c8 and then queen takes f8. Rook at d8 is one of the basic threats here. Okay, so the bishop moves back. Then we just put another knight in, I guess. Yes. Still maintaining this one. And now there are no pieces left to defend f7. So yes, okay, knight d7 comes in. Making queen takes f8 no longer a threat, basically, because you can take back with the knight. But, for example, the pawns on a6 or c6 will come in. Let's go pawn at a6 first, take, and then bishop at c6, threatening here. I can even just take this one first for safety. Right, let's go pawn at c6, bring the knight in on e5. And now this is looking very good. Bishop at c6, king can't move here. Rook at c8, forcing the king to move, and now I was going to say pawn at d7, but let's go bishop a6 first. If the king moves, there's a checkmate with the knight. And now there comes a checkmate with the knight as well. King d8, knight f7, king b8, knight at a6. Alright, Rusam. Let's go. Let's try something else. Go for an early e5. And if you remember from the last game, it's important now not to trade this bishop and get stuck on b5. So therefore just a6, not allowing any bishop b5 later on. And he will try to use the e6 square, I guess. So I'm just developing now and not trading just yet. Okay, now that he castled king on the queen side, I immediately think, well, let's go b5. and bishop d7, a5, a4. And in regular chess, this isn't that scary. You could just go a3 or a4 and shut off the attack. But in Crazyhouse, of course, I get extra pieces. So yes, he's doing the good thing of counterattacking with the g-pawn. May have been wiser to leave the g-pawn on g4 and go h4, h5. But okay. I'll take g5 then. Expecting h4 now then. Yes. Okay, let's take this knight, and if he takes my knight I could take back with the bishop, and otherwise I can move the knight to h4. Because now the light squares are weakened, but the dark squares are fine, so with the king on h8 I should be fine for at least a few moves, and then maybe I already can get this one in, or try to win a rook somehow for rook at a1. And of course you can take here twice, but then bishop g5 forks, or skewers rather. Alright, but he wants the active solution here. Trying to get a rook. Queen is still covering nicely. And now a rook on a1 followed up with a knight on e2 is a real threat. So he has to do something about that. Maybe just king b1 is the most natural move here. And then I'll go pawn at g7, probably. Because if I allow f6 without any possibilities to take it back, I probably am losing. Okay, but now we get this in, and we win the queen with check, and then we can decide if we defend or attack even further. Thinking about knight at f1, but it doesn't seem that convincing. So let's just go pawn at g7, not allow any silly mating ideas. Okay, I think I found something now. He has to take this, I guess. Well, maybe he can go king d2, but okay. Can take this one with check. And now rook at e1 and bishop at h1. And that's looking nice. At least I think so. Okay. Bishop g5. See, and also bishop g4 against my knight of 3 opening ideas. It seems like it's getting more popular to play like that. The early bishop. Ooh, there is some trickery here, which I don't really remember. If you take here, and then some knight takes d5 ideas. So therefore I'm just taking with the queen. I don't know really how it would work, but I feel like I remembered being totally busted in a game before that went like this. Okay, he goes e4. He can try to pick up d5 maybe, but he left d4 hanging, which is kind of important. Let's go bishop d6. I don't care that much about d5. Queen g5. Maybe I can get, if he for example takes d5, I get pawn at e2 in, disrupt this one. But he probably will try something else. Okay, he goes e5. I'll go pawn at e2. He can have this. And it's important that he only has one knight now. Okay, I'll take. And now let's see if I want to take again. Probably not. Okay, now there might be some queen takes g2 ideas. And they seem, I don't know if it's forced mate, but it seems to, it was just calling to be played. It had to be played. Okay, blocking at g3, that's helping me, I feel like. He moves back, knight h3. He had to move up to make it at least a bit harder. Okay, so the queen sacrifice pays off. Maybe objectively it was not good, but it felt like it had to be played. And with rook g8 coming in with check, I also had defense on g7, so if the attack failed by all the forcing moves, then I could have tried to create some new threats. Okay, we are on 61 points. Probably 2 or 3 more games. There we go, really bad at the Crazyhouse again. Okay, going for b6 again. I'll go for this d5 idea again. And e4. Let's see if he wants to repeat this line we played before. Okay, he does. I'll take the queen now first. Yeah, I just feel like this is good for white, so I don't see any reason not to play this. Yeah, it's just looking very strong. King in the open, rook can come to d1 to defend. And it's taking really bad at Crazyhouse a long time to come up with something here. So that's telling me that he also does not like this position for black. And yeah, what to do here? This is just huge. You could try bishop takes f3, but then even then I'll take here. And if this is too scary, you can even bring the queen back. Okay, bishop b4 comes out. Just blocking with pawn at c3. Keeping the rook file open. Alright, now bishop takes f3. Let's see. Let's just take here first. And as I was saying, if I want to, I can take on f3. But even queen takes h8 and then queen d4 back also gives some sense of security. Okay, now definitely I will take on f3 since pawn at b7 is such a huge threat. And the only way to cover that is to go bishop at b7, because if you want to go bishop at c6 or d5, I go knight at e7. Okay, pawn at d2. Let's accept this challenge. You can try to go knight at d4. Okay, if I play pawn at, if I block it, d3 has knight at c4. And then queen at e1. So we'll block at d5. I was just saying I had knight at e7, but I don't have knight at e7. Okay, maybe thinking a bit too lightly about this one. Okay, rook at d5 comes in. And now we have to be brilliant. Okay, pawn at b7 to start. Knight at d8 is the idea. Next. Okay, let's see. If he goes to the e file, I'll try to get rook e1 in. If he moves to d7, then bishop b5. So I think you have to take the knight. Okay, now rook e1, otherwise he can escape. He can escape now even also if he wants to, but now at least e4 and c4 are covered for the time being. Take c7, opening up knight at c7, maybe. Or knight at c8, I should say. I think I can also just take the rook, actually. He might have a mate. Let's put a knight on f5 first to guard some squares. Maybe make him go king f6. King f6 is probably still fine, but I feel a bit safer with the knight here. And knight e3 back. He's forking me on c7 as well. But if he takes c7, knight takes d5. Let's see. Pawn at h5. Trying to get g4 in and maybe get this rook to play. Yes, g4 is coming. And g5. I want to leave this square available for the knight somehow. Let's go pawn at h5, or f5 I mean. Bishop h3. Take. Okay, now we have a rook. There's almost mate here. I feel like. Yes, I think I have it. Rook at f6, king e5, f4. En passant is impossible since the pin. Okay, we chased that king all over the board. Fun game. Right. Hashtag bad. Probably for the last game. Okay, going for bishop g5. Could go knight takes e4 here. Let's see. Knight takes e4, bishop takes, pawn at d2, king up. Meh. Don't really like that. Let's just go knight c6, develop. Now we could try bishop b5, probably. Yes, there we go. I'll just go bishop d7, I think, yes. Maybe he goes queen e2. Looks interesting. Does drop d4 though, so probably queen e2 is not the right move. Probably knight of 3. Okay, he decides to get rid of the tension and go for it. But I'll just cover, probably pawn at h6, yes. And now I have to defend for a while. He can take, I can take back, or I can just go bishop e7. That leaves me a pawn down though, so probably I'll just take back. He can take now and go bishop at h8. That was very interesting, but he decides to go like this. And he has no pawn yet, and if he takes, the only one he can take, with check, then I'm still fine. Okay, let's take, since otherwise he could take f6 with check, and now we go to f8. Normally this is a bit off, because then there can be a bishop on h6 and there will be some annoying checks. Knight takes e6 for example. But now with the pawn at h6 actually I'm feeling pretty safe here, since he has to go back to create something. So actually this knight is covering the retreat to e8, but also giving me some safety. So okay, hashtag bad has to find out what to do here. Since there's also this threat. Okay, so he goes with queen f3, attacking here. If I take, he has some ideas there maybe. Okay, but I'll take anyway. And just go bishop at g6. Or bishop at g5. Is he thinking about something else? Ah, okay, he wants to go knight takes e6, but the queen is covering f6. And there's no knight in hands, so pawn at f7 does not work. So yes, I should be fine here. Just dropping a few pieces on the board. Let's go pawn d2. Let's see if he wants to get in these lines. He does not. And now just bishop at d5, expecting bishop at c6. Well, I'll take and drop bishop to cover. Queen c3, then knight at e4. And if the queen doesn't attack this pawn, I go knight at c1 to threaten to promote. Okay, there we go, knight at e4. Not allowing him to go pawn at c6, just harassing his queen right on. And okay, f7 is still a bit of a hole, but nothing worth mentioning. Ah yes, if he takes the rook, I have checkmate in a few moves. Queen at e1, and then I get a rook in hand, and then rook at d1 is mate. The knight is doing a nice job. So take, and then rook at d1. Alright. That was it for today. Yeah, thanks Dion Asotis. You had some promising positions indeed, but yeah, you could have won more indeed. For those not knowing, Dion Asotis Rex is really bad at Crazyhouse. Okay, that will be it for me today. Thanks for watching. Let's see. The Elite Arena is not yet shown now on the. No, it's not yet shown. The Elite Crazyhouse Arena tomorrow will be at 2100 Central European Summer Time. So do check it out. If you are free tomorrow night, I will be streaming it, and probably some other people as well. But I think it will be 1+1. So not my favorite time control, but okay. I'll hope to get some good games in tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.